video series, I want to present the voters with details about issues that you might not have the time to learn about, and back up that information with real facts. For most of us, the most important thing we spend our time on is our family, our work, caring for our friends in our neighborhoods. But for a smaller group of people, political horse trading and gaming the public trust is their pastime, and it benefits no one but themselves. That's a political history that we cannot keep repeating in our city, county, and state. We need to do better. Our first chapter is about the Niagara Falls Water Board. Over the past few years, we've seen many controversies and old school politicking from a water board that should just be focused on keeping our water drinkable and our rates reasonable. At the center of those controversies, you see a lot of familiar political tactics and many familiar faces, including my opponent in the Democratic primary, Robert Restaino.
Over the weekend, tourists got a different experience when the water turned an inky black near the Maid of the Mist attraction, and a putrid smell filled the air.
The Niagara Falls Water Board has been exposed by employee whistleblowers, been cited for major environmental infractions, and made embarrassing national and international news for discharging wastewater into the base of Niagara Falls in peak tourism season. In 2018, I submitted a Freedom of Information request myself to the Niagara Falls Water Board. Eventually, I got that information back, and it confirmed many of our suspicions. While none of his campaign materials mention it, Restaino was hired by the Water Board as an associate counsel in July of 2018. In the months preceding his employment at the Water Board, Robert and his brother Anthony donated nearly $10,000 to political action committees controlled by Nick Forrester, a member of the Water Board. The Water Board would not give us Restaino's job description because it doesn't exist. It still remains unclear what our residents pay Robert to do. Months after he was collecting checks, Robert Restaino's position still had no job description, and it was still in the shadows. I don't understand someone who calls himself a public servant that would take a shadowy job that doesn't show up on the books. I certainly don't understand that person would call themselves a leader. If you work in the public sector, you should be proud to talk about what you do and explain what your role is in the community. The Water Board also contracted with the Niagara Reporter to run nearly issue-length puff pieces and pretend report cards showing how well the new Water Board chairman was doing, despite the facts that costs were rising and the Water Board was being humiliated in the national news for mismanagement of our city's water supply. When our water rates went up again quietly during the 2018 holiday season, just like in 2017, our money helped fund this blatant patronage. It surely benefited Robert Restaino and a small group of people, but not the taxpayers. This is textbook pay-to-play politics. The mayor of Niagara Falls appoints a member to the Niagara Falls Water Board. If I win, we are going to do better. We're going to give you accountability and transparency, because that's what you deserve. The facts matter, and we know that in most political campaigns, we don't get them. This video series is about doing it differently and better. Thanks for listening.